my name is Ashley. I am a knitter from Vancouver Island, Canada, and this is the Design by So and So podcast. It's been a while since I've had just a regular, normal podcast where I talk about what I've finished, what I'm working on, plans, things like that. So that's what we're going to get into today. I have some finished objects. One of them is my own pattern, the classy Camp Kerchief, and I have a giveaway with that pattern and some yarn that I will be explaining in a little bit. And then I will talk about some works in progress with you. So grab your craft and let's chat. So just to get some businessy stuff out of the way, I have a website, designbysewandsew.com, where I have patterns for sale as well as on Ravelry. If you wish to gift me a coffee, I have a Ko-Fi coffee account, however you pronounce that. And I also have a Ravelry wish list if you wish to gift me a pattern. So all of that information is going to be in the description box below. Now that that's out of the way, we can get on to the knitting talk. So let's start with what I've finished. It has been quite a few months actually since I've filmed just a normal podcast like this. So I have a lot of things that I've finished. I'm not going to go through all of them. There's some that were gift knits that I've since given away. So I'm just going to talk about 3 finished objects for this podcast. And to start with, let's talk about the classy Camp Kerchief. So if you've been around for a while, you might remember the summer Camp Kerchief. I released that pattern 2 years ago, and it is my most popular pattern by far. I think because it's just a small, easy, quick knit. You can easily make it for yourself. You can make 10 and give them away to friends, and it's just potato chippy. It's really enjoyable to make. That one has eyelet stripes. And there's 3 versions in that pattern for how you want your eyelet stripes to look. So the classy Camp Kerchief is just a spin-off of that. I wanted to still make a small triangular kerchief or scarf, but I rethought the construction, and this one is just a little bit fancier, hence the name Classy Camp Kerchief. So this pattern comes in 2 versions. Basically, you're getting 2 patterns for one when you purchase it. There is the all over lace version shown here, and then a half and half version here. So half lace, half stockinette. So construction of these is different from the summer camp. The summer camp, you started with a little tab here and you worked your way out. These are knit from end to end. So you're going to start at one end here and make increases just along one side to the halfway mark, and then you'll begin to make decreases all the way to the end there. It's a really simple lace pattern. It's just a 2-stitch repeat on the right side using slip knits, and then a 2-stitch repeat on the wrong side using purl 2-togethers. So it's very easy to memorize. You can get in a groove and not have to look at the pattern. And to frame the edges, I chose to just include a very small I-cord edge. So it's just a 2-stitch I-cord edge. This is the wrong side, so you can see it kind of rolling over there. And this is the right side. So the I-cord edge just kind of gives it like a little bit of structure. When you block it, you can kind of like stretch out that I-cord edge and make the point of your kerchief just a little bit more pronounced, so that when you wear it, it looks like a kerchief, like so. Test knitters made some beautiful versions, so I'll put some photos up of them modeling it. Some of them wore it kind of like folded or rolled and worn in their hair. Others wore it as a head tie, but with the kerchief point showing on their head. You can wear it around your neck, rolled up, or bandana style. Personally, I like to wear it with the ties in the front, kind of for that like Boy Scout summer camp sort of vibe. And I wear mine year round, honestly. It doesn't matter the season. It's just a nice way to kind of like spruce out an outfit, or on a cooler day, it's a nice way to have like something warm around your neck. So let's talk about the yarn. For my first 2 samples, I used Knitting for Olive Pure Silk. That's what I used for the summer camp kerchief, and I just love the fabric that this makes. It's so light and drapey. It feels really nice to wear in the summertime. It's not too hot. It wears really, really well. My original summer camp that I made 2 years ago looks brand new. It doesn't have any signs of wear really. I wanted to use that same yarn for these. So I used the colorway, what is this one called? Haze. Yeah. So it's just kind of like a cool gray color. And then the blue is Dove Blue. I love this. I think that it matches everything. I'm a denim kind of person. I love wearing jeans. I feel like denim matches absolutely everything. And this is that same color. So I could see myself wearing this version a lot more just because of the color. But personally, I really like the half and half. I think that it's just a little bit less fancy and a little quirky. And that's more my style rather than just full lace, full fancy. But I like the two just for different occasions. And then I made a third sample. And as you can see here, I ran out of yarn. So I started with this beautiful yellow. This is from Fleurange. I don't know how to pronounce her business name. Fleurange Apparel. I'll put her information below. This is a cotton merino yarn that I had a little bit left of, and I thought, oh, it would be enough for a classy camp. It was not enough, so I knit half of the kerchief in this color, and then I needed to find another yarn that was going to kind of match the same feel as this cotton merino. So I knew that the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk wouldn't have the same kind of feel and drape. I knew that a full merino also wouldn't, but I had this merino linen from Bramble Rich, and I feel like the two of them are really quite similar. So the yellow is 70% cotton, 30% merino. The natural color here, I think that this one is actually like 70 or 80% merino and then 20 or 30% linen. So it's more merino, but they both kind of have the same feel to them. So this one I have not worn yet just because it has more merino content and I feel like it's a little too warm in the summertime. I'll show you what it looks like tied up. I think that it's gonna look cute with the two colors. Let's see here. So something like this. So I think once the days get a little cooler, it'll feel nicer to have some more like wool content around my neck. It's definitely too warm for it right now, but you can kind of see the look of this one with the two colors. So this is the all over lace version, but just color blocking, knitting half of it in one color and the other half in another color. So the Classy Camp Kerchief was released on Saturday, and I have an introductory sale for the first week where you can get 20% off the pattern if you use the code CLASSY20. So you can use that same code on Ravelry or on my website and get 20% off of the Classy Camp until next Saturday. So I think that's July 26th. So let's talk giveaway. So I wanted to host a giveaway in celebration of the Classy Camp Kerchief pattern release. This giveaway is by no means sponsored by YouTube or anyone else. It is just myself wanting to give back to this amazing community of knitters. You all are incredibly supportive, just so wonderful. So I just wanted to give something back. So I would like to give a winner a copy of the Classy Camp Kerchief pattern, as well as a ball of Knitting for Olive Pure Silk, which you can actually make 2 Classy Camps from that one ball. So you're getting the pattern and then the possibility of making 2 kerchiefs. And of course, if the winner has already purchased the Classy Camp Kerchief, then I'll just gift them another pattern from my collection, whichever one they prefer. So to enter, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, and then in the comments below, let me know what summer project you're up to. If it's knitting, gardening, sewing, anything really, just let me know what you've been up to in these summer months, and then I will pick a winner from those comments. The giveaway will run for 1 week, so from today until July 29th, and then I will contact the winner. Please don't answer anyone else and never give your personal information to anyone on the internet. So subscribe and then leave a comment on what your summer project is. All right, let's get into some other things that I've finished lately. So I have 2 more finished objects that I wanted to share, and they're both tank tops, so very fitting for summer. The first one here is the Twisted V top by Pernille Larson, who is knitting for Olive. She writes just like the most interesting patterns. A lot of them are really classy, very like feminine, dainty, beautiful looking, but there's always like some interesting construction or just like some depth to them. I'm really impressed with her pattern writing. So I saw this pattern last year and I really liked that very simple but like standout cable where there's just the one in the front with a couple twists. I thought that that was very classy. It kind of has like an 80s feel to it, like an 80s mom kind of look. I like it. And yeah, I knew that I wanted to make it for this summer. So about the pattern, it is knit bottom up, which I actually didn't mind in this case because as I was knitting it bottom up and doing the straps, I could try it on and see what length I wanted the straps to be. Something that really annoys me is having like gapy armholes in a tank top. Yeah, it's just not something that I want to be wearing. I like my armpits a little tighter with tank tops. So yeah, I was able to try this on and then I knit it actually shorter than what the pattern suggested. And then you finish with grafting or a Kitchener stitch for the two straps at the top there. And like I said before, I really like the look of that large cable. And the way that Pernille wrote this pattern is actually really clever. So it's quite simple. You're just doing a lot of stockinette with this little bit of like ribbing here to set up for the cable. And then she does something different with the cable, which I wouldn't have thought of, but because it's such a big cable, crossing over so many stitches, she gives some instructions on how to work that so that you're not going to be like pulling so much fabric over. If you get the pattern, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I thought that it was really clever. And then the final twist at the neckline just works into that nice V where it just twists and then opens up for the V neck. So yeah, very like clean lines and simple, but clever. I really liked it. So for the yarn, this is Flowerless Apparel's yarn. So I purchased 2 skeins of fingering weight from her in her cotton merino. So it's 70% cotton, 30% merino. And I held the 2 together to get gauge for this pattern. This is the color Loyalty. I was drawn to it because of the butter yellow trend that's going around. I've always really liked pastels and yellows. This is such a pretty, happy, but kind of subdued yellow, and I find it really easy to wear, easy to match with a lot of things. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. The second tank that I made is the Nolita Tank by Tori. I test knit it for her a couple of months ago near the beginning of summer, and the pattern's since been released. So this is my version here. What caught my eye, what made me want to apply for the test knit was this nice little detail on the back there. I just thought that that was like really pretty how the increases happen. And then there's a contrast color stripe around the neckline and the armholes. I'll put up a picture of Tori's version. She uses high contrast, so it looks cute and sporty and you can really see that stripe. I went for low contrast just so that I'd be able to wear this with a lot of different outfits. I could dress it up or dress it down. So I made this size 3 with 0 inches ease, which for tank tops I kind of prefer to be closer to like 0 ease. 1 inches or 2 inches is okay, but like 4 inches or 6 inches of positive ease is a little too much for a tank top in my opinion. I like them to be just a little bit closer to my body, a little snugger. Whereas for sweaters and long sleeve knits, I like them to be a little bit more generous on the positive ease. So for the yarn, I used Sandnes Garn Tynn Line held double, like really flowy, really drapey, and I liked it a lot. I will say that The Tynn Line is a little splitty, so I like to use it just in stockinette projects. I have used it with some lace before, and when you're doing different things like knit two togethers or slip knits and you're like moving your stitches around, sometimes you can drop one of those strands, or yeah, the strands just kind of get like split apart. So I like to just stick to a straight stockinette project when I'm using this yarn. So the colors I chose were just this off-white kind of beige for the main color, and then the contrast color is this stark white that I had in stash, and it used like less than 10 grams. Basically, you're just doing this stripe around the neck and then a stripe around the arms, and then you do an I-cord edge back with the main color. I did make a mistake with the stripe around the arms. I accidentally knit one less row. So if you're paying close attention, if you look here, you can see that the stripe at the neck is a little bit wider than the stripe at the armhole. But I had already started doing the I-cord edge when I realized this, and I didn't want to rip back and bother, so I just left it as is. The only other mod that I did was I lengthened the body a little bit. I think it was recommended to knit it to 10 inches and I knit it to 12 inches. That's where I kind of like my tops to sit on me. But yeah, absolutely love it. I've been wearing it a lot this summer. It's really comfortable, and yeah, it's just such a pretty, clean, classic style. So let's move on to what I'm making right now. So works in progress. I have a few things on the go, but I'm just gonna show you two. My first one is slowly but surely making some progress on, and it is a flowerless pressed flowers cardigan for my husband. So I'm not sure if the camera will pick up the color there. It's actually a mix of two colors. There's a gray as the main color and then a fluffy black as the contrast color. So yeah, when my husband saw my version of the Pressed Flowers cardigan, he really liked it. He liked that stitch pattern, just like the texture. It's kind of like a waffle weave texture. And yeah, he liked the idea of sort of masculine version of the cardigan. So I cast on according to his size. I'm going to be knitting it bottom up as the pattern recommends. I'm just not including the flower motif, but I'm doing the regular stitch pattern. And then when I get to about like armpit area, I'm going to figure out what decrease rate I'll need to use for the V-neck. I think I'd like a little deeper of a V just to make it a little bit more masculine rather than like a high neck V. And obviously he's going to have like deeper armholes. It's a drop shoulder design, so that's going to be easy to modify. And then I'll figure out the arm decrease rates too, so that it doesn't end up like too tight at his wrists. So yeah, I'll just be modifying the pattern as I go. So far I'm really liking it, and I hope that it fits him. But he likes the look of it right now, so that's a good sign. So for the yarn, I'm using this Sport Weight Gray from Grenouille & Co. Yeah, here it is. It's 100% BFL, so Sport Weight. It's actually quite plump. I feel like it could almost be DK, but it's classified as sport. And it's just this charcoal gray with like subtle variegation to it. I don't think the color is on here. Oh yeah, it's called Lamp Black. So I got 4 skeins of this, which from my cardigan, I made the size 3 and I used less than 3 skeins of the main color. So I thought 4 would be generous, but now for my husband, I'm not quite sure. I'm making the size 4, but obviously it's going to be longer in the body and longer arms and all that. And what I have here is already almost a full skein of the main color. Obviously a lot of that was eaten up in the ribbing, but yeah, I'm not sure, like I only have 3 more skeins after this, so I'll see how that goes for me. And then the contrast color is just this reclaimed wool that I took from an old poncho. So a friend of mine, she gifted me this poncho that's like beautiful 100% wool, but it's massive. I wish I had it around to show you. I would never wear the poncho, but the wool is beautiful. So I have been slowly pulling it apart. It's way too much work to pull the whole thing apart, so I just like take some yarn that I need at the time, and then the poncho is like sitting in a closet somewhere. But yeah, I've been pulling it apart and then using the yarn to knit with. So it just says 100% wool. I don't know if it's like, well, it wouldn't be Surrey alpaca, but it could be mohair. I don't know. But yeah, it's just this floofy black wool. Reclaiming this has been really interesting. It's not just like you pull it apart and you get this nice long strand of yarn. For some reason, they're really short pieces, so I'm constantly having to like tie knots or weave in ends on my husband's sweater. And also, the wool that I'm reclaiming, it actually comes as like 5 plies together. So it's really thick here, but I can pull it apart and get 5 strands, which is awesome. I'm getting like crazy amounts of yardage from, you know, getting this yarn, but because it's fluffy, it kind of gets like tangled sometimes. So it's definitely a labor of love, but you know, it's a little cost effective. This is my bougie yarn, this is my free yarn, and it's working. So I'll let you know how progress on this flowerless pressed flower cardigan goes. And now my last work in progress are some baby socks. I have a couple friends who are expecting, and I like to gift new moms little tiny knit baby socks because they're absolutely adorable. But also my friends in the past have said that they fit really well. They found that most like boughten newborn baby socks are just not like the right shape, and they'll fall off the baby's feet, they'll slip off, but these hand knit ones stay on really, really well. So yeah, I feel like they're like a practical but also adorable gift. So I wanted to knit a couple pairs for these 2 friends of mine who are expecting. And I came across a little bit of a hiccup. So normally I would follow this pattern by Tabitha Gandy. I think it's called like Perfect Newborn Socks, and it's a free pattern. But when I went to Ravelry to go find it, it's no longer available. So I was a little disappointed about that. I did some searching around and I found a pattern that's very similar. And it is on a blog post, so I'll put the information below, but it's called, where is it? I'm just looking at my computer over here. Perfect Fit Newborn Socks. The other ones were Perfect Newborn Socks. So close in the name, it's actually really quite funny. So anyways, this new pattern that I found is by Kelly Patla, and it looks really similar to the other one. They're ribbed little socks, and I'll show you them now. So here they are. This is the first pair. They look a little funny. I might try to block them so that they're not so scrunched. But yeah, they're just 2 by 2 ribbed socks, and they're really fun to make. You know, they're every element of a sock with the heel flap and gusset and the toe decreases, but just super duper tiny. So this is one pair that I have, and then I'm working on a second pair here, and both these colors are from Little Lionhead knits. They're just leftovers from mini skeins that I have, but how stinking adorable are these? I'm knitting them with DPNs because I do not have this size needle with a cord. I think that this is size 0, I believe. Yeah, they're the tiniest little needles, and then they make the tiniest little socks. My only concern with this pattern is because I haven't made it before, I feel like the foot feels really long, and in the blog post she does kind of mention that. She says that like They do have longer feet, but it's so that they fit the baby's foot better. And obviously like they'll stretch widthwise and that'll kind of like suck up some of the length, I'm thinking. So I don't know, we'll see. They're cuffed down, so if they're comically long on the baby, I would easily be able to like rip the toe back and then just do the toe a little bit sooner to shorten them up. So we'll see. But anyways, that's my other work in progress that I have been working on, and it's so portable. They're so tiny, so it's just great to throw in my purse and then take with me wherever I go. So to wrap things up, let's just talk quickly about what I've been reading. I recently found this book at just a local like book sale. There was tons of boxes filled with books and you rifle through and look through them, and this was one that kind of caught my eye. So it's called 26 Feet to the Charlottes, and it's written by June Cameron. This is a very niche book. I'd understand if you wouldn't be interested in it, but it interested me because it's about sailing around Vancouver Island and the BC coast, which is where I live. And my husband and I, we purchased a sailboat last year. She's an oldie, but a real cutie. She's a 1976 CNC, 24 foot. So just a little fun little sailboat, and we've been dipping our toes, if you like puns, we've been dipping our toes into the sailing world. So yeah, I've really been enjoying this book. It's just about her adventures sailing around. They were called the Queen Charlottes in the past. Now it's called like Haida Gwaii. But yeah, it's an island north of Vancouver Island. It's a really interesting area with like the inlets and the water passages. She talks about living on a boat and preparing their food. They would fish, and then they'd have all this fish that they would either need to can or salt to preserve. And so I just found like the practical, like daily living information interesting. But she's also a really good author. I've read some other sailing books, like memoirs, that just the way that they're written are a little bit of a slog, and this is a page turner. I've really been enjoying it. All right, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you've been reading and what you've been working on in the comments below. Don't forget to enter the giveaway if you would like to win a copy of the classy Camp Kerchief, along with a ball of Knitting for Olive Pure Silk. And until next time, I hope that you are keeping well and enjoying your summers. Okay, take care.